Good for him.
Hello.
Oh, it's time. Well, no, he's walking away. Do we have quorum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we do. So.
That guy.
But Jerry's on her way too, so.
I've been waiting here for 53 minutes for this.
Yeah.
Really?
Parks meeting
And it went fast.
with
so.
basically one agenda item.
A 7-minute park meeting.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
They're not the best when you have to stay.
Oh, well, in this case, you're doubling up, right? Okay.
They were all talking. I couldn't even nap.
Okay. All right, I am going to call the Plan Commission meeting to order. Tuesday, May 7th, 2019 at 6 o'clock p.m. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Graff. Here. Commissioner Pearden.
Here.
Alderman Kubaki.
Here.
Mayor Shiverati.
Here.
Commissioner Jocks. Here. Commissioner Buckmaster.
Here.
Commissioner Bartlett.
Here.
Planner Tresby-Tusky.
Here.
And we have a quorum. Statement of public notice.
The agenda was posted and distributed to all news media requesting notification in accordance with the open meeting laws on May 3rd, 2019.
Okay, and then we have approval of the minutes of April 2nd, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Public hearing.
There's a public hearing for the Elegant Auto Sales. They're requesting a conditional use grant in accordance with the Muskego zoning ordinance to allow an additional auto sales and service business on the property located at South 98, West 12575, Loomis Court.
Thank you, Aaron. So at this time, did you want to add anything to that?
I can just
I
give
just
a
realized.
2-minute synopsis, yeah. So this is the property that used to formerly house Dad's Automotive down on Loomis Drive, North Cape Road. This tenant's looking at going in the back of the building. There are currently 4 parking stalls on site that are used by another business, Badgerland Auto, which is on another building on that site. And what this user is now looking at doing is establishing, I think it's 5 stalls, I'll put up in a minute here, on the kind of more, there's a parking area towards the rear part of the site. So it just basically will allow more auto sales, and we can talk about the resolution more when that time comes, but this use is already a use that's found in the area, and it is allowed in the zoning code with a conditional use grant. That's why we have the hearing tonight.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak regarding this public hearing? Okay, that's a no. We'll move on to, therefore the public hearing is closed. We'll move on to old business for consideration. Resolution PC 008 2019, approval of an annual review for Fry Automotive located on Loomis Road.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion, or Adam, you probably want to update us?
Well, yeah, just good news that we went out to the property and it looked probably one of the best it's ever looked, so thank you. And, so we were content, and have the resolution now we will need to make an amendment to the resolution just because we put in there that we went back out and it was good in the resolution. So we'll need an amendment, and then that can be voted on. The only thing, and this is totally up to the Planning Commission, is if you did or did not want to discuss any kind of further review other than our annual review is up to you, but the resolution right now just leaves it as it has been in the past with a yearly review.
Okay, so if that's a thought, we could make that part of the amendment, if that's the desire or not.
Well, there's been issues in the past, as we well know. And I don't think it would hurt to do an interim inspection, maybe 6 months down the line.
Just do like a one-time 6-month, and then the year, and then after that, see where we go?
Yep.
Little spot check.
Yep, we'll spot check there.
You mentioned that it was around tax time when your activity was up. Would that then move that annual inspection to an off period time?
The annual stays where it's at, but at that 6-month point, I guess if you wanted to say this is our new annual date, we could do that. Historically, the city has tried to lump all the annuals together just for efficiencies, but you could always change what time of the year you do the annual review if you wanted to.
Well,
What's the peak? What are we, February? Okay, I mean, you know, I wouldn't want to just intentionally say, let's go out there in February. You know, he's got a business to run. But if you did it later in the year, maybe November, or
What we could do is if we do a 6 month from now, where does that put us?
Fall.
October-ish? You know, we could see where we're at then, and at that point, if you say we want this to be our new yearly month, you can make that call at that time.
Agree.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you're gonna find in his business, just the nature of it, he's just gonna be probably somewhat non-compliant in February. I'm guessing. But if he starts being non-compliant in May, and then you go out there in February, you know, I'm thinking from November to February, it's probably a little harder to get congested like it was. That's my thought. So I'm content with the November timeframe.
but I don't want to give the impression that we're condoning anything. I mean, it's, you know, I understand business cycles myself, but I just don't want to give the impression that we're condoning, you know,
You know, historically, the idea is the site plan should be the worst case scenario, meaning never exceeding that, and it can always be less, just never more.
Right.
So the site plan should be how it is in February or March, and the rest of the year, maybe it's less. You know, and I think that's normally what we would advise people at the counter is plan for the worst case scenario, and that should be the worst of the worst. And it can only get better or less. So, yeah, but I don't have an issue either with it changing if that's what you want to do with the time frame.
So if anyone is so inclined, we need a motion to amend to add the language that it has now met the requirements, or they've cleaned up, however we say that, it's in there. And then if you want to change, oh no, we would do it the next one, so never mind.
6 month, yeah.
Yep,
Right.
6 month, and add the 6 month.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on the amendment?
So that's November.
Right.
Sounds good.
Okay, all those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
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 Opposed? None, the amendment is approved. If there's no other discussion, okay, please cast your vote for the resolution as amended. Aye.
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 I was looking for a button.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Opposed? None, okay, it is approved unanimously. Thank you, JJ. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Resolution PC 24, 2019, approval of a conditional use grant for Elegant Auto Sales located on Loomis Court.
Move to approve.
Second.
Adam, I think he already just talked about this at the public hearing.
I solidified the number of stalls is they want 6 retail stalls and then 2 stalls for employees, and then they have 3 stalls that are for customers, and that kind of covers the area that they're allocated with their lease.
Okay. Any other questions or anything? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved unanimously. Resolution PC 25, 2019, approval of a metal accessory structure for John Olson located on Acker Drive. Need a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Mayor. As noted, this approval is for a 20 by 24 accessory 20 by 24 square foot accessory structure, totals 480 square feet. The lot that this is being placed on is about 1.1 acres. The reason they're at Plan Commission is because of the materials. Now in this scenario, a lot of times we have metal siding, metal roofing. In this case, they want to do vinyl siding to match the house, but they are looking to go with the steel roof. A big part of their reasoning here is being that they have a lot of trees on this property, and with the stuff that those shed and with the shade that they cast, without a roof getting kind of mossy and nasty, they're looking at doing the metal roof just because it will kind of last longer and be more durable in the location that they want it. And looking like at Google Street View and stuff on this property, you can't see into the property really at all. There's really dense vegetation around it, in front of it. So this is one of those things that staff doesn't think you're really going to see at all, if at all. And, as we're seeing as a trend more and more, the metal roofs with or without the metal siding are becoming way more common of a trend. You're seeing them on homes and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the long term, city changes some codes on metal roofs even, just because they are known for their durability and they don't wear and rust like people used to think they used to do as much. So we're recommending approval in this scenario, given the location and application of it.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
No issues from neighbors or anything?
Not that we have heard.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved unanimously. Welcome. Resolution PC 26, 2019, approval of the sale of fireworks for Freedom Fireworks LLC, located on Racine Avenue, the Piggly Wiggly parking lot.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. And Adam?
Thank you, Mayor. So this is a sale. We've had fireworks sales in a couple spots throughout the city. Some sites have them every year. Some sites we see them for a couple years and don't see them for a couple years. So we have had fireworks at this property before. I think there's been a little bit of a lapse we've had out there. But this year we have a new vendor that's looking at coming in. They're looking at bringing on, what's a little bit different in this scenario is a lot of our sites have a tent with like a small storage unit. And then they keep the stuff in the storage unit at night for security. This scenario, and there's a picture in your packet, they want to use a 48-foot by 8-foot metal storage container. So the container itself will be not only the storage, but also the sales unit. There's like doors on it, can slide up and kind of just walk right in and do your sales. As part of this, they will have a couple banners hung from the container, which is common on a lot of our other sites that we see. As far as operations go, they're roughly looking at operations from June 10th to July 10th. They have permission from the property owner to be here and to use their restroom facilities at Piggly Wiggly, which is something we always want to see. The only thing we kind of wanted to note here is that in the past, normally this site, a lot of these sites usually have said one outdoor vendor at a time. Now this site has flower sales that happens in the springtime and comes into early summer. The flower sales person's kind of been going a little bit longer each year, which they're allowed to do. So there is some overlap with the flower and this person, but they're going in different locations. So, I mean, at the staff level, we don't have a problem with it if Plan Commission doesn't. The flower sales were recently approved for a 3-year stint there. And the reason they have such a long period is they've been there so long, we kind of know how they operate. We know there's no concerns. So we're still recommending approval. We as a staff don't see another problem, especially since the fireworks are only there for a 1-month period. And like I said, they're located in a different area of the site, so the two uses won't conflict. The flower sales might be out of there by then, but they may not be. So that's why we just wanted to kind of cover that there will be a slight overlap there. But we are recommending approval.
Thanks, Adam. Any other questions?
Can I just ask, are you renting that or you own that? Renting, sir. Okay.
And we're agreeing to a 1-year?
Yeah, we typically only do a 1 year until they've been there for a few years, where we kind of understand exactly how they operate, and then they can ask for a longer term down the road.
No other questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Thank you. PC 27, 2019, approval of a one-lot certified survey map for the KKM Real Estate Holdings LLC on Muskego Dam and West Loomis Road, the corner.
Move to approve.
Second.
And Adam.
Thanks, Mayor. This is a one-lot CSM. The parcel it's being split from is much larger, and there actually is another lot, but since that other lot is over 20 acres in size, the ordinance allows the Plan Commission to waive it being shown on the CSM, which is customarily done. If or when they do decide to develop some of the other site, there will have to be survey work done at that time. So that's why this only includes one property. But this property, you've kind of seen this before in the last year or two. All-Star Rentals is looking at purchasing this. They've already come for a rezoning. They already have that approval. This is the next step in the process, which is kind of getting the lot set up for them. And then if this would get approved, their next step and possibly the last step would be their architectural approval through the BSO stage. But they really have to have this happen first so they know exactly what kind of lot boundary they're looking for. So nothing too unique about the CSM. The only thing worth noting is that this property and the parent property it's being split from front on Highway 36, and the state does not allow access onto Highway 36 from this property. So you'll notice on the CSM that there's a like cross-access easement or ingress-egress easement. And what that's serving is the idea is the city is going to want to see the driveway for this site that's also going to feed the other future developments adjacent to this as far east on Muskego Dam Drive as possible. So that way it's not an interference with the intersection. And then this driveway that will eventually come in will have to service future development to the west. So we already have that on the CSM to make sure that all the lots in the area have access. But
Thank
we're
you.
recommending approval.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved. Resolution 28, 2019, approval of a metal accessory structure for Nicole Jodat located on Kaiser Lane.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. And Adam?
Thank you. So we have another metal accessory structure here. This one is noted on Kaiser Lane. This is at the end of a dead-end cul-de-sac. This building is 56 by 48 square feet in size, which totals 2,688 square feet on a lot that is about 3.6 acres. The building actually is 56 by 40, but it has an additional 56 by 8 covered porch or lean-to feature on it, which is something we have no problem with and actually helps add a little decoration and ornamentation to the building. There currently is a 12 by 18 foot accessory structure on the property, which when you add the two square footages together, they are still within the allowed limit. And the reason it's at the Plan Commission is because of the architectural. They want to have steel siding, steel roofing, as well as since there is one existing building already, they need the Plan Commission approval for a second. And typically that hasn't been a problem as long as the combined size is within the allowed limit. This one, like I said, has quite a bit of ornamentation on it, has wainscoting. The west elevation actually has a brick or stone or something that matches the materials on the house. You have pedestrian windows, you have that overhang, they're showing a weather vane. Definitely has a lot of good residential scale, residential size features to it. The colors that are proposed are very similar to the home. They provided home photos as well as color samples. So staff definitely is recommending approval of this building, given the ruralness of the area, the architectural character, and not affecting the surrounding area.
Thank you, Adam. Are there any questions or comments?
I like the weather vane.
I like the overhang.
Good.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's approved unanimously. Resolution PC 29, 2019, approval of building site and operation plan amendment for a local craft brewery located on Commerce Center Parkway.
Move to approve.
Second.
And Adam.
Thank you, Mayor. Interstate Partners, who owns this building on Commerce Center Parkway, is assisting a local craft brewery with this building site operation plan. Right now, this building that was built, which is kind of between CGS building that was approved not too long ago at the end of the cul-de-sac, that is the eastern neighbor, and the western neighbor is Ace Hardware. So this is that building that sits in between those two. Currently, Cosentino, who's like a countertop company, and US Auto are both located in this building. There's one space left that's about 20,500 square feet, and that's the space now that's being proposed for the brewery. As noted in there, as part of this, there isn't a lot of changes that really have to happen. There'll be interior changes, obviously, but as part of the business operations, the only exterior things would be there will be 2 grain silos that will be behind the building in the truck dock area. Those silos will not be taller than the height of the building, which was kind of one thing that we were concerned with, but that eased our concerns there. And then inside the building itself, I think it was about 3/4 of the space, is that correct, is production? About 3/4 of the space is production and bottling, and then the rest of the space would be tap room and restaurant, would serve lunch and dinner out of that space. And they're also then on the outside proposing a patio area that you'll see on the site plan. And they're also proposing some landscaping around that area, and then they're converting one of the windows to more of a door type feature on the front of that building there to help access that patio area. Other than that, though, zoning wise, the zoning definitely allows different types of manufacturing and production, which the brewery would fit into. And then the tap room and the restaurant fall into an accessory use based upon that primary use of their production. As far as hours go, the production hours would be normal types of business hours on weekdays for the most part, and then the tap room and restaurant, the hours were listed in the packet, but Sundays from 11 to 9, Mondays through Thursdays from 11 to 10, and Fridays and Saturdays from 11 to midnight potentially. Other than this, the parking lot itself is really large. The positive thing here is the users that are in that building are not very high, the other users are not very high customer or employee generating types of businesses, and the business hours that they're open will not necessarily be the same as when the public will be at the brewery facility, as well as there is some employee parking behind. So we definitely feel there should be ample parking out there. I know the potential user feels the same. But other than that, staff's recommending approval. We think this would be a good fit for the area and could end up being a nice destination in the community.
Thank you, Adam. Are there any questions or comments? And we appreciate that because we know we were on a list. So we appreciate it. Thank you. Any questions or anything?
Yes, can I ask you who you are? Are you part of this or? Okay, thank you.
I think it's an awfully nice addition to the city.
Yes, I agree.
I like the fact
I
that
just
it's
was
on the
surprised
east side.
somebody in the audience was
East
speaking
side of
without
Muskego?
being part of it, so thank you.
Do we have any idea of the size of the restaurant component of this? When we talk square footage?
Carolyn, are you?
About 5,000 square feet, which will include the tap room and the restaurant.
Okay.
Are you Caroline?
I am.
Oh, okay. Is he on your payroll?
I don't know.
But he is
Well,
now.
I'll tell you what, you should
Yeah, you might
consider
be
it,
now.
maybe.
Right.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a east sider, so I'm very excited about it.
I think there's a lot of excitement, so happy to have you here. Any other questions or anything? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous again. Thank you. Resolution PC 30, 2019, approval of a one-lot extraterritorial certified survey map for the Koth property located in the town of Vernon.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Resolution PC 31, 2019, approval of metal accessory structure for the Jerry and Jessica Kraus located on Loomis Drive.
Move to approve?
Second.
Adam, is there anything you wanted to say or not?
Not really, just typical metal siding, metal roofing. It's in a rural area of the city. Has some windows, has siding, a service door, has raised panel door, overhangs that match the house. Very typical for a rural area, so no concerns.
Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved unanimously. Thank you. All right. Any other miscellaneous business?
Nothing, Mayor.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.